matters to me.
My husband and I lived in Hawaii 23 years ago. One summer, Kyle had mentioned to us that he was having double vision and he didn't want to ride his bicycle anymore. And at the same time, I was pregnant. And I was only a couple of months along. And we took him for some tests. And the first doctor really didn't think there was anything wrong. She more or less thought it was in his imagination because he was going to be jealous of the baby. Time went along, and finally when we did take him to another specialist, they diagnosed that he had a brainstem glioma tumor. And at that time, that tumor was non-operable. There really wasn't any options. The one thing we could do was radiation. Harold Gallagher suggested that I send him to Kaimuki Christian and he could be a fifth grader here. And he absolutely loved it here. All the kids were really friendly and kind to him. He wore a black patch on his eye, and then his vision, he could see out of the one eye really well. Otherwise he had double vision. So the kids, you know, he loved telling them he was a pirate, and all the kids knew he was sick. At that time, we really didn't know how sick he was. But he loved going to school here. He loved participating in all the activities that the kids did. And then we got the bad news. They did not believe he was going to live. They gave him 6 months versus the 3 months we were told without the treatment. So Ron Arnold, who used to pick him up every day for school, came over to our house one evening, and the four of us sat on our carpet in the living room. And my husband was really struggling with how to tell him that he was going to die. And just when he needed those words, God gave him the words that if you live, we win. If you die, you go to be with Jesus and you win also. And he nodded his head, and his dad said, do you understand what I'm saying? And he said, yeah, I do. And he smiled the whole time, and we got up, and it was like as if, okay, no big deal. I have some time here. I don't really know exactly how much. So the outpouring from the church and the school family was fantastic. And when he did pass away, Easter week, the outpouring was unbelievable. We had a wonderful celebration of life here at church. And there was such an outpouring of love and caring from all the school children. They had a special service for the school children, and they talked about what Kyle meant to them. And the reason we have the scholarship fund is that we got such an outpouring of monetary gifts, and that's the way it's done here in Hawaii, that real aloha spirit. And so Carl and I talked about what should we do with this money, and we decided that we would give it to the school and ask them to start a scholarship fund for children who couldn't quite make the entire tuition, but just needed a little bit of help. And we wanted their children to be able to go here because they would receive the love of God, see the love of God, and learn about Jesus. It's meant a lot to us that this scholarship is still in existence. Kyle was born in 1970, and he passed away the day after his 11th birthday in 1981. So that's how long this scholarship has been going on. Remember, whatever you donate, it doesn't matter how small, it all goes to to help people get a wonderful education here at Kaimuki Christian School. Thank you for letting me share all of this with you. Aloha.
Lenn came to Ms. Song in kindergarten when he was 5 years old, and he was diagnosed with leukemia. Then he came to second grade, which I had him for a year. And knowing him, he always had a passion for learning. I mean, he would even come to school when he's really sick and needed to be having blood transfusion. He would actually come in the morning to school and then have his mom pick him up lunchtime to get a blood transfusion and try to come back to school. And then he went on to, I think, 3rd grade, and eventually at 4th grade, he died of leukemia. But he always said something that kind of caught me. He said, what's one thing you would, say to God when you get up there? And he goes, when I get to heaven, I'm going to ask him why he made me so sick. What did I do that was wrong? I said, well, Lenn, I think you're the chosen one to go there before all of us. And so his mother asked him, okay, at your funeral, what do you want? And he says, I want firecrackers and I want 100 balloons. So when they took the casket away at the funeral parlor, they played the fireworks and the 100 balloons went up into the air. And I tell you, it makes you just cry, because when you see that, you know it's all going to go, heaven. So that was a memorable thing about that. Well, Joey came during preschool, and that's when they diagnosed him as having cancer of the spinal cord area. Actually, it was first a tummy ache. They thought it was just a flu. Then they found it was cancer. So he went for chemotherapy, but he was in my Terry's classroom. And the one thing I remember about him is he would always sleep by the door in Mrs. Silsby's room. And every time someone came to pick up a child, he would run to the bags, get the bags, and give it to the grandparents. Ironical, but all 3 boys had a smile of joy, of coming to school. And all 3 boys had it. And you could never say, no, they weren't happy,
Mercy and grace, the power